Go.
And ready. Hi, my name is Steve Gale, and I'm going to be your instructor for these next 12 or possibly even longer weeks of instruction. We're working on martial arts training. For those of you who are just coming into class, we're working on martial arts and self-defense. And martial arts and self-defense are not the same, okay? They go hand in hand, but they're not exactly the same. In martial arts, you can practice your entire life, and hopefully in self-defense, you'll never have to use it. But like I said, they go hand in hand. And over the next 12 weeks, we're going to be learning how to do martial arts by teaching you some of the basics first. Basics on how to help strengthen your body. Basics on working on the balance that we incur when we're doing all the things that we do, whether you're moving forward, moving back, moving sideways, teaching you how to both strengthen your legs and keep in a balanced position. Okay, and then, of course, you have to learn how to either strike or block in those motions. And in doing so, everything kind of comes together into a single package. So the whole idea behind training in these first 12 weeks is learning basics, getting an idea and that your body and your brain have got to work together. Okay? And of course, lastly, we're going to have some fun. So without any further ado, what I'd like to do is get us started. Hi, Steve Gale again. Today I just want to go over your first basic class. And we're going to do your first basic class in martial arts training. And you're going to see that I'm still wearing what we call a gi. And in my world, this is my three-piece suit for years. A gi is nothing more than a pair of pants, okay, a top that folds, and a belt. And it's loose-fitting, and it keeps you able to move, being flexible. You can do your splits, you can do your kicking, you can do your jumping, etc. And it's very free. Now in class, we're not wearing a gi. And so from this point on, I'll be wearing gym attire just like you're going to be wearing in class. But I wanted you to realize that, number one, I've got 40 years of experience in the martial arts. And this was my three-piece suit. I wore it to work every single day. And in doing so, it became a part of me. So the gi is very important. The belt's not so much. You know, I've come up through, I'm a third-degree black belt through my original instructor, and since then, I've learned a whole another style. I've learned and trained with so many different martial artists over the years, and different types of styles, and different types. The last being a kung fu instructor who was working on basically a combat style of Tai Chi. And all the information that I've learned, I've gathered, I kind of changed into what my latest instructor calls Steve Fu. So again, you're going to be working on the basics of the Kempo system, the American Kempo system. And you're going to see elements of the Tracy system. You're going to see elements of our Nice and Silat. You're going to see elements of most of the Filipino martial arts. You're going to see elements of Taekwondo. You're going to see elements of all kinds of things, because my idea is not to teach you a style of karate necessarily, but the basics of how the martial arts work. Because most good martial arts have all got the same basics, no matter what they call them. So what we're going to do is we're going to train that way. From this point on, I'm not going to be wearing a gi. We're going to be wearing gym attire, just like we do in class. But I wanted you to see me in my three-piece suit. So without any further ado, this first class we're going to start off with basics. The first basic we're going to learn are the blocks. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do the 4 basic blocks, which is what we learned in class. And we'll start off in what we call a training horse stance. So my foot's going to come out. We're going to get down. We're going to center our body weight. My butt is down. My legs are bent. It's probably one of the biggest things, especially for us seniors. We've got to bend our legs. Too often we rest our bodies by locking our knees, which is our bones, okay? Bones don't help us get stronger. So you need to bend the knees. Feet are about double shoulder width apart. You want your body weight between your knees, okay? You're able to turn to about 10 and 2 comfortably. You can turn further than that if you push it, but I want you just comfortable in this 10 to 2 position. The next thing we learn is the chambered position. So we're going to chamber our hands, and our hands get chambered right here. You notice that here, if you've ever trained before, some train high, some train low, okay? We train, again, somewhere in the middle, because this is not something you're going to use on a consistent basis, but it teaches you some basics. And one of the first basics we learn is what we call point of origin, okay? So wherever my hand is where it's going to start from. So the first thing we're learning today is the inward block. And so what happens is I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to bring it up, and as it comes across my center line, you notice that my arm is vertical and it's just past my nose, which is a line also. It travels down through my head, through my groin, right down to the ground. I need to go past. What I don't want to do is I don't want to swing my arm so that my face is showing. Okay? Nor do I want to stop it here. So I'm going to do this one motion where it comes across my body and in and back. Across my body, across my body, across my body. Okay? So there's your block. Now what we want to avoid, of course, is we don't want to go too far this way. I don't want to stop it here. And nor do I want to scoop it here. Okay? Because by scooping, what do you see in this middle? You see a face, and we don't want that face. So the inward block is designed to knock something away. It's a natural reaction, okay? Oh, get away, all right? So that's all you're doing, really. So the inward block starts this way, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And again, your fist doesn't go any lower than just below your eyes. You don't want it too high. You don't want it too low. Both are bad. There's got to be just this middle part. You want to be able to look right over the top of your fist. You don't want your hand out here. You don't want your hand down here. So just like Goldilocks, it's got to be just right. So again, inward block. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now from here, the outward block. The outward block is just what it says. It's an outward block. Now remember when we were talking about the inward block, I didn't want you scooping here because with one hand scooping, you have a big opening. So what happens with the outward block is this hand is here to help you. So it's protecting your face while this one comes around, and then you scoop it out while you're protected, and you put it back. Same thing for the other hand. You bring it to your center to protect your face. This hand comes around to the outside of your arm and scoops to your shoulder. This one comes to protect your face. This one comes around and outside. Now, of course, we don't do it separately. It works together. So hands move together. The blocking hand is always going to be on the outside of the arm, because if it's on the inside and somebody pushes on the arm, you're going to get trapped. Okay? So that's the outward block. So again, outward blocks, I'm going to start 1, 2, 3, 4. The upward block, which is the third block. Again, I bring my hand here to protect my face. This hand comes up, and as I bring this up above my head, I roll my fist up, and my other hand gets chambered. I roll my fist up for a good reason, because I can hold a lot of weight up there if I needed to. If my fist is down, it will collapse easily. So I want to roll it above my head. Now I don't want it just above my eyes, because as you can see, I could still get hit. I need it to be above my head and at an angle. Okay, so again, I'm going to protect my face. My other hand's going to come up, and I'm going to roll my fist up. Bring it up, roll. Now again, you might notice that as I'm doing this, my body is also turning. So I'm not just doing like a robot. I need to kind of turn. And what that helps to do is get my body out of the way and lets whatever's coming over the top slide by. Boom, 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 boom. The last block we learn, of course, is the downward block. Downward block for a lot of us is a hard block. So I bring it down to protect my body. And now because a kick is coming at my center line, in reality what's happening is I'm getting this in front of the kick, and then I'm continuing to knock it away. So I'm getting this in front of the kick, and then I'm going to knock it away. In front of the kick, and knock it away. Now in real life, I'm never going to stand here and go, ha! I'm going to block you, because generally what's going to happen is you're going to end up on your butt somewhere about 12 feet back. Not what we want to happen, okay? So movement, body, how you're going to use your body and such, is going to be completely different when you actually start to use these blocks. But I want you to learn how to do them from this training stance. Okay, so a horse stance like this is a training stance only. So again, I'm going to break this last block down. So if I were just to use one arm, this one is coming across my body from shoulder to just past my knee. The other hand, in doing so, is protecting my groin. Okay? And then, of course, as it goes by, I'm going to get this one ready, so I'm going to pull it back. So whenever I'm doing my blocks, we encourage you to execute what we call push-pull. If I'm pushing here, this hand, with the same amount of power, is pulling back. And in doing so, your body will turn the way it needs to turn. Okay? So as I bring this over and I push this away, you notice my body turns away. Body turns away. Okay? So when I'm doing the blocks like this, from a standpoint of basics, my inward blocks start 1, 2, 3, 4. My outward blocks go 1, 2, 3, 4. My upward blocks go 1, 2, 3, 4, and my downward blocks go 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's your lesson for today.